Hi, podcast members. Thank you for being here and supporting another podcast that I am doing for the collective. So, today we are going to be talking about the last 8 years, and they were big for me. Okay, so this is about me. I'm hoping that these podcasts will help the collective through their life. Okay, my struggles, my life, the things I've been through will hopefully help you move forwards, and help you move towards your highest potential. That is all I want. So the last 8 years, which brings us to 2017. Okay, so I am a mum, I am a wife, I am 39 years old. Okay, so I am getting to the big 40. Next year I will be at 40. So I'm growing up. Okay, you still feel like a child though, isn't it funny? Like, not like a child, but like you feel young still, like young at heart. But it's just your body that I feel is growing older. Also, I feel with age, or with all these challenges and stones, like milestones that happen in our lives, it is something that I feel you become more wise with age. I feel like aging like a fine wine. Okay, so I feel the older you get, the more wise you become. Okay, and it's funny because when you're like 16 years old, you think you are knowing everything. You think you know everything more than everybody else, but you do not know anything. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this brings us 8 years. This brings us to 2017. 2017, I had my daughter, okay? She was born. I had a lot of complications with my pregnancy, gestational diabetes. I also ended up being a person that had preeclampsia, so I was put into hospital early. I had her early. I had her like 4 weeks early. So she was in NICU. So that was a big thing that I feel affected me. It also, because, from the time you're a child to when you actually have a child, you are still in that childlike energy. And when you have a child and a baby comes along, something that you're responsible for, I feel, it is something that I feel changed me, and it changes everybody. Having a child, you have to think of them more than yourself. Most of your life you are thinking about you. You're thinking about what you're going to do, what you're going to do for the weekend. But once a child comes along, you sort of take the back seat. For the first few years anyway, what I experienced with motherhood. So I did have a few complications through my pregnancy, but she came out a strong fighter. She was a little baby as she come out 4 weeks early, but being in the NICU, being with other children that are in the NICU and talking to other parents, because you actually live in the NICU, okay? You have like your own bed and everything. They feed you, you shower there, like you live there with your child. And you meet other people that are going through sort of similar, because you're all in the NICU together, but some experiences that people are going through are a lot more difficult than what you're going through. And it makes you see reality. Also, it makes you see the truth about things. It also shows you how strong a child actually is when they are an infant. So if we're that strong when we are an infant, just think about how strong you are now, okay? Because you are an infant and you're a strong person. So you're even more stronger now. So that was a big thing that I went through. I had some time off work. I had to have time off work because I had a baby early. I went into hospital early. I was I went in the hospital, I think 2 weeks before I actually had her. So, it was a big ordeal. And I love children and I would love to have another child, but that was a really big experience in my life. And I do not know if I could go through that again. You do talk to doctors and stuff, and they tell you that the second time around, you may not get, there's a chance of preeclampsia, but it's not like it's going to happen as long as you try to keep yourself healthy and try to do the right thing. But I don't even want to take the chance as much as, it would make me feel great to have another child. Like it'd be good for my daughter to have a sibling, but it isn't worth the stress. It isn't worth. It's more of a selfish thing. Like I want to have a child, but I could lose my life going through that. Like going through that again. Like your child could lose their life. Preeclampsia is something that is, it's not good. You have to have the child early to actually get over the preeclampsia. It's very technical, high blood pressure, everything's going on in your body. Like your body is rejecting the baby, or it rejects it's when you look down to it. I know we're going very far into this, but when you actually Google a lot of it, it's your body is rejecting the sperm in the first place. So it's something that's foreign to your body, so it doesn't want it in your body. So your body's like trying to protect itself, and that's why there's complications. That's what I come down with Google. You could comment and let me know if you know more information, but I seriously read up a lot about it when I was stuck in the hospital and I could not leave. Anyways, after that big challenge, normally after a big challenge, there is a reward. And there was a reward. I had my daughter. She is my whole world. She is our whole world. And for the first few years, from like 2018, 2019, it is the very focus is your child. That is when their development is going on. They are crawling, then they're walking and they're feeding. They're going from liquids to solids. They're learning words. So they need you there. They need you by their side. And I feel like through 2018, 2019, I feel like I was just a mum. Okay, so this is what a lot of parents, a lot of mothers could go through. Like for the first few years when they have their child, it's very child focused, and you lose who you are, or you lose yourself. Not completely. You are still you. You are a mother. That's what your responsibility is. That's what your role is. That's what you've chosen to do. So you are still you. You are still you, but you're not your complete self, because you are going through these development stages with a child. So I feel there's a lot of women have PTSD, so post traumatic stress disorder. So a lot of people deal with depression, through those stages after they have a child. So I could have felt that I had a depression stage, but I got out of it. I was exercising. I ended up finding out also that I was lactose intolerant, so I cannot eat dairy. Because I was doing a lot of blood tests and stuff. I still had high blood pressure after I had my child, so I was still on medication for up to probably like 4 months after I had my daughter. So I was still on like high blood pressure medication. After I had her in hospital, my blood pressure actually spiked. I had like 5 doctors like running into my room, like in a panic. But it's funny too. It's not funny, but I had a coffee. I hadn't had coffee for like 9 months also, and I had my first coffee, and that made my blood pressure spike. But also, it is normal for your body to do that after you have a baby when you have preeclampsia. So you're not out of danger yet. Okay, it takes time, and that's why you've got to control the blood pressure. And I eventually controlled my blood pressure. It went down after she was born, but I also was diagnosed with lactose intolerance. So I feel like finding out that I was lactose intolerant, even though it's, people obviously in the world that don't have an tolerancy to food, don't understand how substantial it is. Okay, people just think it's like nothing. People just like, oh, you need to go to the toilet. It's hilarious. Like, who cares? But it's pretty bad. It doesn't feel great. You feel like you have to go to hospital. It feels like your appendix are exploding. That's what it feels like. And I don't think people understand how bad it is. But I feel with age also, with having a lactose intolerance, that it seems to get worse. Okay, so that's another challenge that I've had to go through, like a health challenge. I also had felt a lump in my breast, so I went through that after I had my daughter. So that was a bit of a scare for me also. I went and done a lot of tests. I ended up getting a biopsy done on my breast. It ended up coming back non-cancerous, which is a relief. But through that time period too, I was also stressing at the time, like, thinking that, I could have cancer, what's going to happen? Did I live my life the way I wanted to? And it gives you this feeling of like, I need to live life. I need to live life to the fullest. And I feel like that could have triggered me to wanting to live life to the fullest. Okay, so I started. By that time, by 2020 is COVID. Okay, so 2020, my daughter, she was turning 3. Okay, so she was turning 3. She's got out of the terrible 2s. But COVID in 2020. Okay, so we're all locked down. We're all locked down in COVID, and you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything, but it was great. It was great. You really got to connect with your family, connect with the ones that were closest to you. So even though it was a negative that you couldn't really go out anywhere, it was also a positive because you got to connect to the people that were closer. I think we couldn't go out. I think only people that, I forget what it was all called before, but people that were like needed to make the world go round had to go to work, where other people that were just like specialty stores and that couldn't go to work. And that, I think that was, I don't know if that was for like 2 weeks or something, but I was still going to work. But other than that, only one of the people could go to the shopping center, and like, it was full on. Anyways, you connected with your family more. But I also feel because you were stuck at home, it's changed the way of your thinking about going out. Also, I feel like a lot of people since COVID has changed the way of what they think of doing things in life, like going out and stuff. They sort of think, I don't really have to go out. I don't really want to go out, because I feel like the night scene after COVID, it changed. It's a lot quieter in town now, and I feel like it's probably like that everywhere, that it's not as big of a scene anymore. People don't care. Like, if they do want to have a few drinks and stuff, they do it at home. Okay, so COVID's going on. I wanted to do something. I wanted to get out and just enjoy my life. And so I started doing art. I started, art's always been a passion of mine. My father's been an artist. Like, my father was an artist. And art has always been in my life. I've always been creative. I've always been good at drawing and stuff like that, like just very creative person. And Instagram, I feel, gave me a lot of motivation by seeing videos and that and pictures of art. So I saw someone that was doing mixed media, and I was like, I love this mixed media type of thing. And the mixed media that I was actually doing was like mother and child art. So I would paint clouds, and then I would put the mixed media over the top, which is some type of mother and child art or something mythological, something spiritual, something religious. Like, that was my thing. And I feel COVID. I feel it's a mixture of COVID, sorry, Instagram, and trying to find my passion after having a child was a big mixture of everything coming together. And I started doing this mixed media art, which it gave me a passion and drive to actually do something for myself. So I was doing a lot of art for myself and enjoying the process. And as you do, your art starts backing up. So you have a lot of art. And I was like, why not make a business? So in 2021, I decided to start my art business. Okay, so I was doing that. I was like selling my art, but it was only to people that I knew. I did do markets and stuff like that, but it was mostly based around friends and family that would buy my art. Okay, so I was doing my art. It just it would make me very happy, but it wasn't something that was actually pushing forwards or actually, I was making money, but I wasn't making what I wanted. I wanted to be able to enjoy it a lot more. I feel the more that comes back to you gives you even more passion to push it forwards even more, feeling that reward to it. But I feel like it's just part of my journey. Doing the art, getting creative, getting in the spiritual energy and the creative energy has brought me to the point of before I started my tarot on YouTube. So, I have been doing tarot for a long time. I was doing tarot on myself. I was watching a lot of tarot videos. I was very into tarot before I started putting it on YouTube. But then it's funny because I had a spiritual page that I started on Instagram, and like before I started my YouTube tarot business, I was doing this spiritual page that was sort of empowering others, helping others grow into who they're supposed to be. So that brought me to the point to start doing tarot on YouTube, because I was actually on that spiritual page. I'd classed it as a spiritual page. I was doing videos and reels and that of me doing readings. And I was like, why not just do it? Okay, why not just try to do it on YouTube? Okay, just like all the people that I watch on YouTube, I'm like, they would have just started at nowhere. And I said to my husband, why don't I do this? Why don't I just try it out and just see how it goes? And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If people want to listen to my readings, because I was like, why not do readings for Pisces every day and just see if someone will watch me. Okay. And he said, why not? And so I started putting videos out, and at first, as per usual, so I started putting them on YouTube in 2022. Okay. I stopped doing my art business. I was doing tarot and art, but then I decided to focus more on one thing. So I stopped doing my art and I'm more focused on my tarot. So I put it on YouTube just to see how I would go on YouTube. And I started getting a lot of people viewing my videos, okay? And I felt like I enjoyed the process of doing it every day for the collective. Like, that gave me a lot of passion and spark more than the art. Like, I love seeing my art completed. But to me, I feel like it uses, I don't know, like, Pisces are creative and I get it, but I feel like it uses a lot of brain power, and it does get you to be adventurous. And I feel the art pushed me to put my tarot on YouTube. So I started doing it because I had friends also that were YouTube tarot readers, okay? And I'm like, why don't I do it too? Okay, I'm going to try it out and see how I go. So I started doing it, and I enjoy it so much. I love it so much. I feel it's my passion. I still do art. I love doing art as something, as a hobby, but to me, tarot is something that I pretty much can do with my eyes closed. Like, it's something that is mine. It's something where I'm supposed to be pushing towards. You know, I do not know where it's going to lead me in the end. But I'm excited about the journey. I have been on YouTube doing my tarot for around 2.5 years now. So next year would be 3 years on YouTube, and I love that. I love connecting with the community. I've done a heap of personal readings. I feel it's made me grow as a person. For the last 2.5 years, I have, I'm not the same person as I was, let's just say, 8 years ago, okay? Everybody changes, and that is a normal part of life, I feel, is that you need to change, because if you're still the same as you were like 20 years ago, like, did you really live your life? But in a way, it is your life, and you make every decision in your life. So I want to live my life to the fullest. And as I said, I did go through a few things, a few health scares over the last few years that I feel has pushed me on the path of wanting to live life to the fullest. And I love everything I do. I love the path I've been on. I love that I have been through the journey through art, and that my art has expanded. It's made me who I am, and it's bringing me to the point of where I am today, being a tarot reader on YouTube. I am also somebody, like, before I even started all of this, like, I was doing those spiritual pages on Instagram. So I have this feeling of, I've always wanted to help people, okay? And the tarot is what helps people, and I want to help people, and I feel what I'm doing is helping people. Also doing with these podcasts, like, I want to help people. It's funny, when I was doing my art, I was actually doing podcasts on my art, but they were very actually spiritual podcasts. So, like, it's brought me to the point of where I am today. So the last 8 years have been very, very big for me. They have changed me into the person I am today. I am very grateful for those 8 years, everything that's gone through my life in those 8 years. I've actually filtered out a lot of things in my life and released a lot of friends and people that aren't meant to be here anymore, okay? People that I was sort of stuck with until I grew up a lot more. I also have stopped drinking as much. Like, I used to drink excessively. But I think I don't know, it's the norm in the social life. I don't know, going out and drinking, so it's just normal. But I feel through the last 8 years, it's actually through the last 2 years, I've realized that I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to go out and waste my life drinking. So I haven't had a drink actually I can't even think of the last time I had a drink. Maybe it's like a few months ago. Drinking is, I don't know, it's nice to have a few drinks to celebrate something, but excessively, I don't feel like it's for me. But everybody is different. Like everybody needs something to take the edge off. I feel like it's more of a taking the edge off kind of thing. It's a medication more than it's actually, like, it's not like a medication like it's good for you. It's not sorry, my phone keeps pausing, but it's not like it's a medication that's good for you. It's like medicating or putting a band-aid over something that's not actually going to heal. It's just going to stay like that. You need to actually take the band-aid off and let it air out so it can get a scab on it and like heal itself. So I feel those 8 years have been very impactful in my life. I've changed my, drinking habits. I feel like in society it's actually normal to, get on the drink and have good times. Like it's good it's good to have a good time with your friends and stuff. I get it, and enjoy those times. But you're also, I feel, to me, I was wasting my life. I don't know. I just, and I see drinking a different way now. So I feel, yeah, these last 8 years have impacted me a lot. Okay. Last year, I feel 2024 was very impactful for me also. 2024 was my year of transition. So I feel like my year of transition of cutting toxic ties, and that's to people and to things in my life. And it's still a never ending journey. Life, spirituality is a never ending journey. Okay. But 2024 was very, very important. I felt like I was walking through the dark night of the soul. Through 2024, I was walking alone, but I wasn't really walking alone. Like, I did have my husband, I had my family, and I had a close friend that I could talk to. So that is all I needed. But still, I was going through a hard time, even though I did have all these lovely people around me, listening to me, giving me advice, and helping me push through to the other side. And I did make it through to the other side, and now I feel clearer with life. It's still a never-ending journey, though. I'm still going to have hiccups in life where there's going to be challenges where I'm going to make mistakes just like everybody else does, but they're all just learning lessons, and I hope to learn that lesson straight away. But yes, as I was saying, cutting toxic ties. I've been listening to more audiobooks on self-development lately. I also completed my Reiki Master. So I feel like I am someone that is changing the person who I am, and I love who I am becoming. I'm starting to do Reiki and tarot now. I actually quit my job a couple of months ago that I was being like, it just wasn't for me anymore. I was working that job for like 16 years, and I had enough. Okay. I feel they overworked me, and I had enough of being an overworked mother. Plus, I was also doing my tarot at the same time. So the last 2 years I've been working like full time and doing tarot, and I ended up just giving up my job because I just had enough of the way I was treated. but I also knew that I needed to move on. It was time to move on to a new day. And 2025, I feel, to me, and maybe to a lot of Pisces out there, I feel is a new day, is the sun is coming out. The sun is finally coming out. You're finally starting to see things clear. And I feel 2025 to me is a year of clarity. It's already August, okay? And I feel like I've filtered my life a lot to where the sun is shining, and the sun is actually shining outside right now. It is bright out there. Okay, it was just raining before, but now the sun is out, and now I feel like I can look back and be grateful for those 8 years. Like, even though there were a lot of challenges over the 8 years, my daughter will be turning 8 this year. I cannot believe it. It's exciting though. Like, I cannot wait to see what the next 8 years bring, to see what actually happens in the next 8 years. But I'm hoping that the next 8 years are more positive. I feel like the last 8 years were years of cutting out negative things, pushing me on the right path and getting me to move on the right path, on the path that I feel divine and my ancestors and my angels want me to walk, okay? I feel like I've been blinded for a long time, but it all is for a reason. It's all part of fate and destiny. They are lessons that we have learnt in our lives, and I feel I love my life, and I love everybody in my life. I love everybody that is in my life right now. Everybody in my life right now are the people that are the secure attachments in my life. People that I can be my complete honest self with, people that love me for me, people that are there, people that aren't going to be just all talk, no action, people that do make time for me. And I appreciate that. And it's hard letting go of some things and people in our lives, but we do need to understand that we come first and we are number one in our lives, and that there's so much more to come, okay? And to be excited about what's to come. So this was an interesting podcast today, a little bit more about who I am and what I have been through. I am loving connecting with the community. I am loving doing these podcasts. I am loving being who I am supposed to be. I am loving just being myself, okay? So I hope you get something out of this. I hope you understand that everything that has happened in your life has happened for a reason, and that you should be living life to the fullest. I love this whole memento mori thing, because you will die. Okay, so live life to the fullest. Enjoy life to the fullest. Live life for you. Live life for the people, for you and the people that are around you, that love you for who you are, those secure attachments that aren't going anywhere. Be who you are. Be courageous. Move passionately forwards with everything you want to do, because you don't know, memento mori, you don't know when it's going to be over. So start today. Start living. Sorry, my phone just paused again. Start today. Start living your life today. Enjoy your life today, and enjoy the rest of your life every single day, okay? We need to understand too that there are people that are going through life that have it worse than us. And I get it. Our lives are very important, but we need to understand too that sometimes our problems are just tiny compared to others. And we need to just go with that flow. So if something is done, if something doesn't work out, understand it hasn't worked out for a reason. Don't be attached to it. and move on and know that divine has a bigger plan. Okay, I feel that's something that everyone should say. Like, if something happens that didn't work out in your favor, whatever that is, just be like, divine has a bigger plan for me. Okay, and I feel that'll put a smile on your face. But I love you all so much. You put a smile on my face for being here, for listening to my podcast, for watching my readings on YouTube. My readings on YouTube are for you. You know, I'm here for you. I want to help you. I want to help push you forwards and rising into the sky if that's what you want to be. You know, I want to lift you up. I want you to be knowing that you are amazing. You don't need to be crawling after anything. What is meant for you won't deny you. You are beautiful. Who you are is beautiful. Everybody is unique. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has not been through the same thing, even if your sibling hasn't been through the same thing as you. Okay, so you are unique. So show your uniqueness to the world. I love you all so much. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a great day, a great weekend. But you will see me on YouTube. I love you all. Bye.